All right.
Okay. All right. Hello, my name is Tim Tranquil, and my working title for my game is Alien Minefield. I'll start out with the premise. So it is the future, and you are a convict who has just been sentenced to life in prison. However, in this future, there is a new energy source called cobalt zinchron magnetizine, or cesium for short. This resource is so valuable that if a citizen is sentenced to either life or death, they can waive their punishment in exchange for mining the substance for 1 year. The idea here being that mining it is so dangerous that people who try will die anyway. And the substance can only be found in asteroids and remote regions of space. So the game itself will be effectively a top-down shooter. Every single time a mission starts, the player will be sent into a new arena, which will be filled with asteroids, abandoned outposts, space debris, and various other obstacles they will have to navigate around. There is also a hostile alien race that is trying to get the cesium, and you will have to compete with them in order to get enough of it before they either take it all out from under you or they destroy you. And something that has been added is that if you are killed in any mission, since you are trying to pay off a death sentence, if you die at any point in the game, that is it. Your game is over, and you have to start again as a new convict. The objective. For most of the missions, the goal will be to collect a certain quota of cesium. This will be told to you before the mission begins, and once you have collected that amount in the arena, you will be allowed to leave. You do this by destroying the asteroids or killing the aliens. And both of these will drop amounts of cesium that you can pick up by flying over it. And however, once it has been exposed from either another alien or an asteroid, the aliens will also be trying to get to it, so you have to reach it before they do. If you get the cesium by destroying an asteroid, these asteroids will break apart and they will begin to clutter up the level, which will make it increasingly difficult to navigate through as you progress. So once your quota has been reached, you can choose to leave, or you can stay and try and collect as much cesium as you can before you leave. However, after doing this can be very dangerous, and it becomes a risk-reward thing. But you need that cesium in order to get upgrades for your ship, because the cesium you collect that is part of your quota all goes towards the mining outpost and paying off your sentence. So here is sort of an example of what that would look like. The player's ship is right over here. This is an asteroid. That is a mine, hideously not to scale. And you deploy the mine next to an asteroid. It blows up. The asteroid has split apart, and cesium has been exposed to space. Cesium. It is the most powerful form of non-renewable energy in the known universe. And for the aliens, it is their primary food source, and so they need it to survive. But you also need it to survive because it's what powers your ship. And your shield, your thrust, and several of your weapons depend on you having cesium in your storage tank. If you run out of it in mid-mission, let me back up a second. This means that as you use your weapons, fly around, and take hits, the amount of cesium in your storage tank will be depleted slightly. And if you run out of it, these functionalities will cease, and you will be left likely dead in the water. The cesium also functions as currency, so if you want to buy upgrades for your ship, like an improved cesium storage tank, better weapons, a stronger shield, a more efficient engine, you will need more of the cesium in order to get that. Okay, so the visual element. So that is one of the aliens right there. The aliens, who have up to this point just been called the aliens, I am giving them the tentative name of the raptors. And they are wild animals. They are not an intelligent race, but they do want the cesium, and that is their primary goal. They're not all necessarily going to attack the player. They will attack the player if the player gets in their way, but for the most part, what they want is the cesium. This means that they will pursue the cesium if the player exposes it, even if that cesium is from a fellow raptor. As you can see here, there are two different types of raptors, and there are many more than this. I just have not had time to draw them all. But the one on the left is sort of a harvester. It can only harvest cesium. It does not have any defensive capabilities. And the one on the right is a larger, more maneuverable, more aggressive type of raptor. There are also other types that will be capable of breaking through asteroids and binding, and they can create sort of webbings that will bind asteroids together, turning them into larger obstacles for you to avoid. Your ship. There are, right now on the screen, you can see there are 3 different varieties of ships. I was thinking of having them have slightly different functionalities, like the top one might be the small, the nimble one, but it has a smaller storage tank, less armor. And the one on the bottom here that's maybe slower, has more weapons capabilities, but also has a larger storage tank, but is less maneuverable. As I said, they are all powered by cesium, and if you run out of it, you will be left effectively to the mercy of the raptors. And that's sort of a thematic element I'm trying to get through this game, is that you are meant to die doing this job. And so what I was thinking is that if you ran out of cesium, you weren't able to move anymore, you weren't able to fire your weapons, you have no choice but to watch as your ship gets destroyed. So there's another little gameplay, still shows that there's a raptor and a ship both racing towards cesium. And that is the end of the slideshow, but